Minnesota's world port, and global trade is really part of our lifeblood. So anything that limits our potential for exports is a negative for the Port of Duluth-Superior.
Twin Port officials sharing concerns tonight about President-elect Donald Trump's proposed tariffs on exported goods, saying if imposed would significantly impact economic activity in the region. President-elect Donald Trump has promised to impose a 25% tariff on imports from Canada and Mexico as part of his first executive orders. Northern News Now's Ryan Hayes details the effects this decision could have on our local economy, in particular with importing and exporting goods in the Twin Ports.
It's a delicate balance for the Great Lakes and the Port of Duluth-Superior. Tariffs are a double-edged sword.
Jason Rohn from Duluth Port Authority says Trump's proposed tariffs will have positive and negative impacts on exported goods from the region.
In the case of foreign steel dumping, tariffs can help support domestic steel production, which tends to increase demand for Minnesota iron ore.
According to the Duluth Port Authority, $1.6 billion in economic activity was reported in the Twin Ports in 2023. Since iron ore is the port's leading export, increasing production is a positive for the port, but if countries retaliate, it could affect other exports leaving the port.
But tariffs can also lead to retaliatory trade actions by other countries, which can hurt our port because it tends to reduce exports of key cargoes like grain.
Economics professor at UWS Josh Beatty says consumers would feel the effects right away in their pocketbooks.
So I think it would be devastating. I think we would feel it fairly immediately. And I think that, especially in things like grocery stores and everyday items, people would see prices go up and they would notice it.
Beatty says Trump's 2018 tariffs cost Americans $414 per household per year. He says while tariffs may positively affect industries like American steel, it can have a negative impact on jobs in other industries.
In the steel manufacturing industry, we had an increase in jobs, but in industries like car manufacturing that uses steel as an input, we lost jobs.
He says the cost impacts to Americans from these tariffs isn't worth it.
Typical cost per job saved of tariffs like these is somewhere between, it's in the hundreds of thousands of dollars, right? And we're saving jobs where people are making like $40,000, $30,000 a year. I'm sure these people would rather us just give them a check for $800,000.
Rohn says global trade is vital to the local economy and limiting exports is a negative for the region.
Duluth is Minnesota's world port, and global trade is really part of our lifeblood. So anything that limits our potential for exports is a negative for the Port of Duluth-Superior.
A political move that is likely to have wide-ranging economic implications for the region. In Duluth, Ryan Hayes, Northern News Now.
Well, Trump shared on Truth Social that illegal immigration and drugs entering through U.S. borders as a reason for imposing these tariffs, saying that they will remain in effect until that stops.